We are near the end of this class and our bot is pretty real. We are now going to go ahead and integrate our bot with the Slack Messenger app. If you haven't used Slack before, it's really cool. It's a messenger for your workplace where you can create teams and chat about important topics. Within your Slack workspace, you're going to set up a bot user. This bot user will be our weather bot, which is always online, ready to provide you with weather information when you're planning a trip. Slack uses OAuth credentials to identify external integrations, and we'll configure those. Once we have our bot user set up on Slack and we have the credentials for that user, we'll now switch over to Dialogflow and activate Slack integration. Dialogflow will provide us with event request and OAuth URLs, which Slack will use in order to communicate with Dialogflow, send over messages, and so on. Once we have the basics set up on the Slack end as well as the Dialogflow end, we'll now link the Dialogflow URLs with Slack. This will allow Dialogflow to subscribe to message events from Slack and provide appropriate responses using our weatherbot. Once our Slack app is ready, we can add this to our workspace so it's always available to our team members. Once this is done, you're ready to test it out end to end and make sure that it works. This will give you a real feel for how users and customers will chat with your bot. As we work on Slack integration with Dialogflow in this lecture, ponder on this question. When integrating with Slack, why does Dialogflow need the Slack app credentials? So far, we've spent a lot of time mucking with our chatbot first within Dialogflow to test that it works. We then created the check weather intent within our chatbot and fulfilled the request made to the check weather intent using an external API via webhook, which is the only kind of integration that Dialogflow allows us. We are now ready to make our bot real by integrating it with a third party platform. The platform that we've chosen for this exercise is the Slack app. Now, Slack is a suite of collaboration tools which you can use in your workplace in order to collaborate within your team. Slack is basically a chat service or a messenger service where you can have different workspaces where you have a number of team members coming together on a workspace to discuss, work stuff. If you've never worked with Slack before, don't fear, it's very simple. We're just going to create an account on Slack. I already have an account set up, but here is where you go slack.com in order to create an account. Notice the get started link, it requires your email address, and then you create a workplace within Slack. I already have an account and a workspace, so I'm just going to go ahead and click on sign in. Not only do I have a Slack account, I've also created a workspace called apiai-workspace.slack.com. So I authorize myself to the workspace and now I'm ready to get started. Once you sign in, you'll see a page which looks somewhat like this. This is your Slack workspace. I have no additional teammates within this workspace at this point in time, just the one. This is where you'll collaborate with your teammates using chat. Now that we have the Slack account and workspace, what we want to do is create a new bot user for this workspace. This bot user will connect to our weather bot in Dialogflow. You can build a variety of different apps in Slack using the APIs that Slack provides. Go to api.slack.com and then click on Start Building to start building your application, which will integrate with Slack. Once you click on Start Building, you'll be asked for an app name. I'm going to call it Weatherbot because that's exactly what it does. And the development Slack workspace where I want this bot to live is the API.ai workspace that I just set up earlier. Once you have these two bits of information filled in, you're ready to click on Create App and get configuring. Now, there are a variety of different Slack apps that you can configure here. So, there is a huge number of links that you'll see on this page. What you're interested in is a bot user. So, click on bot users on the left nav pane. You'll come to a page which lets you add a brand new bot user. This should pop up a form which asks for two bits of information. One is the display name. This is the name that the user will see when he or she is in the Slack workspace, which has this bot user added. And the next is the default username. I'm just going to use weatherbot for the display name as well as the default username. And notice this configuration below, which says always show my bot as online. Now, our bot can give you information on the weather at all times of the day, 24 hours, 7 days a week. So we can simply click on this slider and set this to be enabled. Just click on add a bot user and wait for this bot to be created. Once you're done, we can move on to the next step here, and that is event subscriptions. As you and your team are interacting on your Slack workspace, there are a number of events that are generated, and Slack allows external third parties to plug into and get notifications when these events occur. This can be that you sent a message, you sent a file attachment, and so on. All of these are valid Slack events. The event subscriptions page should allow us to specify what events we want to allow Dialogflow to subscribe to. So, first, you need to enable events so that these events will be sent to external third parties. And the events that we want generated from Slack is a bot user event. That's because our weather bot is going to be a bot user within our Slack workspace. There are many events that you could subscribe to, but the one that I'm interested in right now is the message.im event. This is the event that is sent or triggered when a user sends a message to our bot. Our bot will have its own direct message channel, and each time there is a message on that channel, Dialogflow will be intimated of the event. Specify that you want third parties to subscribe to the message.im bot user event and then click on save. Now, when Dialogflow is integrated with Slack, we need to be able to send messages to Dialogflow, and Dialogflow needs to be able to send us responses. In order for Dialogflow to send responses to Slack, it needs to be authorized to Slack, and this is done via the Slack app credentials. These credentials are available on the basic information page. So if you scroll down on this page, you'll see app credentials as a section. There are three bits of credentials here: the client ID, the client secret, and the verification token. These are credentials associated with our WeatherBot app within Slack, and we need to configure these credentials on the Dialogflow end so that Dialogflow has this to authorize itself to Slack. And what I just said explains why Dialogflow requires the app credentials that are generated by Slack.